People have been wondering when cash will be returning to Counter-Strike. This map had a special place in CSGO. It was featured in one of the earliest operations for the game, then again for the next one, and then in 2014 was the first community-made map to become a permanent placement within the game, an honour that only it, Agency and Anubis have achieved thus far. But it's been oddly missing since Counter-Strike 2's release. Now this was understandable whilst map maker FMPone was working on a new, improved Source 2 version of it. But that was released to the workshop in March, and it still hasn't made its way into the game proper. Valve works in mysterious ways, and with FMPone also silent on the matter, it wasn't long before people started to speculate about why that was. A popular theory being that FMPone refused to hand the rights to the map over to Valve, wishing to retain ownership over the map like he had done during the CSGO era, rather than to hand it over to Valve in exchange for a lump sum of money. How much is a map worth? According to information data mined from Counter-Strike, Valve paid $150,000 for other community-made maps like Anubis and Tuscan, of which cash is just as big as, if not more so. For the record, FMPone wasn't the original maker of the map. That honour goes to professional player Volcano, but he worked with FMPone to get it up to the standard needed to be featured into CSGO officially, and since then FMPone has been the keeper of cash, maintaining it and updating it many times over the years. And he recently broke his silence on the situation, stating that Valve reached out to buy the Source 2 version of the map on day one of its release, and FMPone doesn't want people thinking that he, and the rest of the development team, hesitated for a second. You can see on the workshop page that the map received a bunch of updates in the first week of release, and then nothing since, which would suggest that around that time, control of the map had been handed over to Valve, and that's why FMPone would no longer be maintaining and working on his creation. FMPone also tweeted some other interesting stuff, like how Valve offered to buy it in the early days of CSGO, but FMPone, the team behind it, refused, stating that they were confident with the map's popularity within the operations. A big gamble at the time, but it seems it paid off during the CSGO era. So what makes it different this time around? Well, for a start, Counter-Strike 2 hasn't had any operations. And while I would hate to speculate on why FMPone's stance has changed on the matter, I would like to point out that he's been developing this same map for over a decade. A lot can change to the game, and indeed a person's life, over that period of time. He's recently turned his focus to weapon skins, posting an assortment of them to his Discord and Twitter pages, all featuring a distinctly cash design. So while I know nothing, I wouldn't be surprised to see cash and a cache of cash-based skins cached into the game's files for FMPone to cash out on. Cash you later.